want to talk a little bit about the brain, and then I'm going to talk about how knowing what I'm going to tell you about the brain might help you understand why I'm asking you to practice planning. And then if it's too difficult, if I'm asking you to do something that's too difficult, I'm going to ask that you tell me so that I can help you do this. So first, the brain. This is a very kind of funny drawing. It's not very scientific, but this area up here is called the prefrontal cortex. And what's very interesting is that researchers can see that this is almost completely off in children, and then it starts to function in teenagers, but it's a work in progress. So it needs to be used to plan. This is what it makes. We plan, we make good decisions, we pay attention, we learn things. Kind of how we control this by ourselves is the part that's in development. So how we're planning for our future, how we're envisioning our future, how we carry out what we plan, what we pay attention to. All of this is there's a fancy term, it's called executive function. So as we become our own executive functioner, we get better at these things, but we often need help from the adults in our lives until we can do it ourselves. So because this area is not particularly strong, the area in here called the amygdala, that's the part that helps. It has a lot to do with anger and feeling safe and emotion. So this ends up being, it's actually a little bit bigger in teenagers. And until this area kind of manages it, it can overreact. So this is why you might sometimes feel like you have big emotions and things may seem very overwhelming. Not that adults don't get overwhelmed, because we do, but it may seem why a problem just seems ginormous. And that's why I'm going to talk to you in a second about how to make, if you're behind, how to make that problem seem a little bit smaller. So what can we do if we're behind schedule and we feel very overwhelmed? Let's talk about how we can use the course page in the calendar to make a plan. First, I keep saying this, and I'm mostly ignored. I don't know if you're not seeing it or you're just truly ignoring it, but a plan really, really works. So you can see where you're supposed to be. We're finishing course week 8. This is on everybody's calendar. It's labeled course week 8, right? We need to get next week to course week 9. Let's say I have a lot of people, a lot of students up here in Unit 2. Whether you're on week 6, week 7, right? Someplace up here, all right? And we can work from here or the calendar to see, right? Let's get out a piece of paper. Our paper's we're gonna need it over here. I'm just gonna need a file. So I'm gonna just add a new Word document. And let's say you're gonna call this Word document my ketchup plan. Not ketchup that you eat, but ketchup. That was not very funny. Sorry. All right, so my plan. All right, so we're going to do this depending on what you want to do. I'm going to say do it from Monday. You can. All right, and part of not feeling overwhelmed is nobody's telling you to find a large period of time and get caught up. I just would love to see kind of 1 week at a time. What am I going to do? All right, so let's say I'm here. I'm at the beginning of course week 7, right? And by the end of next week, I want to be, not in Unit 4, sorry. I want to be caught up. So I'm not too far. I want to be caught up. So I want to be finished with course week 9 by the end of next week. So let's see, and I'm up here at course week 7. So I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things from here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's optional. 15, 16, 17, 18. These all go together. These are all part of 18. Okay, they're not very long. They look long, but they're not. So I have 18 things, and okay, so 18 and 5, that seems like too much. So I'm going to actually say to myself, I'm going to use Saturday and Sunday, and then, all right, 18 divided by 7, That's between 2 and 3 things a day. All right, so now all of a sudden something that seems like a lot isn't so much, and I'm not going to say I need to do. So Monday, I'm going to think about my schedule on Monday. Okay, on Monday, I have second period, whatever it is, but tell yourself a time. When is it going to be? Be specific to you. When am I going to do that? All right, and I said I need to do 2 or 3 things. Monday, I don't really have so much time, so on Monday, I'm going to just get done these 2 things. All right, and I'm going to just drag this over there. All right, I'm going to put this, I haven't written or typed anything. I'm just going to put this on my Monday schedule. All right, and then do this for each day. How do I get myself a plan to get caught back up? All right, and then make it public. Make your plan, send it to me, right? Share. I'm going to share my plan with Mrs. Hinman, with my monitor, with my parents. I'm going to say, this is what I want to be able to do, right? And now all of a sudden we've taken something that seems huge. I have all this work to do. How am I going to do all this work? I mean, my kids go through this all the time, that it's all impossible, right? And they make this giant thing. It's actually your brain, right? It's not really you doing it. It's this amygdala is overactive, right? And it's making you feel like this thing is bigger than it is and you have to do everything at once. You don't, but making a plan will really help you. And I'm gonna send this video on the announcement, and then I'm gonna send this video again next week to anyone who is more than 2 weeks behind, to make sure that you know how you can get caught up. And if this seems too hard, if you're still frustrated, I can't do it, then remember, go on the course page, go to the home, go down a little bit. There's my bookings page. Set a time. I'm so happy to talk with people. The thing is that I can't just call, all right? I have to use this appointment schedule to have a call with you, so please use it. If parents are noticing their children are frustrated, use this. Book a time. Book a time, we'll talk together. If monitors are noticing that there's frustration, just please let me know. All right, thank you very much and have a pleasant weekend.